let's kind of go into a little bit more detail. So let's start off with probably the tax that everyone's familiar with, right? And this is going to be direct tax on income. So let's put that in here. So, all right, you know, e.g. income tax, right? Income tax is a form that we can use for funding here. And again, when we are going through all of these problems, think carefully about whether or not this is truly applicable to the news, right? Think of how news is provided. Think of the cost of news, the cost of accurate news, all of the operational costs associated with accurate news, and ask yourself, does it make sense that we are running through tax right now? Does it make sense to consider direct tax as a method for funding the news? Think of the benefits it may have. Think of the drawbacks it may have. But the point is, you should be sort of, carefully casting your mind towards whether or not you believe this is feasible. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the point. So we've got, we've got income tax. That's the main sort of thing. I think so. We can say, this is tax paid on earnings. This is a this is, as you know, this is a progressive tax. So this is a progressive tax. Now, if you want to know what a progressive tax is, we can sort of diagrammatically show this actually over here. So slightly wobbly line, but we're going to draw a progressive tax, okay? So this is going to be total income, right? So this is going to be total income up here. Total income. All right. And then that's like our true income. Okay. And then what we will have here is this will be sort of totaling. This is also total income. Specifically, this is total income pre-tax. So this is going to be total income pre-tax, and this is going to be total income post. Okay, it's the post-tax total income. So what you find to start with in many countries is the first. Now I'm going to use the UK as the example here. Roughly, the first 12,500 in earnings is tax-free. Okay. So what we see is that we have something like 1,000 to 500. I'll have a straight line like that. Okay. But once you reach this point in the UK, everything after that is then subjected to a 20% tax rate. Okay. A 20% tax rate. So for example, and it goes up to about 30,000. It's about 40 actually. So if we look at here, what we have is we have a point up here, perhaps, but it looks slightly more like this. And this is going to be 40,000, right? But this point up here is going to be only 80%, right? So instead of 40,000, it's only 80% of 40,000. And as you know, 5 times 8 is 40. So we've got 8 less. This is actually going to be stuck at 32,000, right? And it's going to continue doing that. So then next, we have a 40% tax rate. So it really starts to bottom out. And this is an example of the fact that, you can be working more and more and more, but your income does not go up by the same amount for how hard you work. And this is a difficult reality that a lot of people kind of live with. But this here is an example of a progressive tax. Okay. So let's get back to oh, whoops. Let me yeah, I guess I'll have to leave that up actually. So that's an example of sort of the most typical direct tax. Now there are other forms of direct tax. So, there's things like, I think the next thing that really comes to mind probably is the national insurance, right?